in the Satisfactory desert. Welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. We're here to build some cooling devices. First thing we're going to do is build some drones. We want to get the ports set up where we can pull in the necessary resources to complete this build. The nice part about this is if we build this here, we already have access to the heat sinks, right? Because we have our RGB towers making heat sinks. And we can use those as part of this build. As soon as I figure out where... There we go. Hey, look at that. Just enough space. Oh, but not enough power. So these 3 drone ports will allow me to import the 2 additional pieces I need, and gives me a potential place to export if I so choose. Probably will choose, but we have the option, not the obligation. So we're going to call this cooling device nitro. And we'll have him pull in from our nitro facility, which already has batteries, interestingly enough. And this one, let's go back and power this up so we can actually walk around. Oh yeah, in case you're wondering why I have the blasting machine, I was just playing around with cluster bombs, as you do. That's all. So we'll switch to something a little less aggressive. All right. So we have our 3 built. We then want to put down a drone. We'll let you to start. Well, you don't have batteries. We'll steal some batteries from over here. And then just to be on the safe side here, we're going to double check our recipe. Always double check your recipe. We're looking at right here. So the heat sinks are made locally. We just set up the nitrogen. And then we need to pull in the motors. So this is cooling device motor. Motors. That'll help us bring in our motors. Steal a couple batteries just to have it kick off immediately. And then theoretically, this will be our cooling device shipper with battery. All right, batteries for everybody. While that's happening, let's set up our platform for building. Now, we put some temporary we put some temporary storage containers in for the build materials for this build. So those will go away momentarily. We still have plenty of room before we hit the edge of the map. So we want to bring in all 3 items from here, and then the third item we want to bring in from here. And then as far as the nitrogen goes, we also need to ship back the empty containers, which, that's a good point. I have a few empties on me. Just try to decide where we want to start this thing. I think what we'll do is we'll have our own little kind of mini layer. Right, we're not going to go quite that far out, first of all. Okay, we'll keep that a little closer. And then we'll have the items come in down below? Yes. So we'll keep this a 1 meter foundation. But we'll build starting... I mean, some might say it might make sense to start aligned with this. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And then we'll make a little vertical service layer. Then we'll put in... Yeah, I think we're ready to start putting in our first foundation here. Cooling device. Yeah, this is the one that I use. We're gonna want a lot of these. We're talking about 24 in total. Obviously, we can't fit all this stuff in our inventory at the same time, so we have to decide how many of these do we want to build at a time. 6 of them. Would mean 4 levels. Or we could build 12 of them and go with 2 levels. Let's go with the 6 and 4. Then we'll have to go shopping over at the Emporium here. Where are the motors? Oh, these are all empty. Motors. Got a lot of quick wire on me for some reason. Just going to the mall and picking up stuff that I myself had previously put here for my own consumption. Almost there. That explains why I have so much quick wire on me, at least. Let's see. We're looking for rubber. And copper sheets. Uh-oh. Okay. Then we'll bring a little copper wire and cable with us. Let's put a little power in so we can continue to fly. Then I suppose we should give ourselves a little bit more room. On the foundation front. 6 of these would be 24 foundations plus end caps of 1, so that's 26 foundations. Okay, so this blueprint is interesting in that it's very versatile. But we want to make sure that we're entering on the first level from this direction, right? If you look back there in the back, you can see that there's a 3 stack of splitters. That's the one that we want to make sure is facing the right direction. If we turn this, now the splitters are closer to us, but they're also facing the wrong direction. They're facing out towards us. We want in towards us, I guess. So this is the right way. So that way we can pull in the resources from over here. And then we can also drop off. Oh, this is so good. We can drop off the resources when we're done over here. So this is great. So here's our input. Here's our output. And then up here it's reversed. So we can snake our way through the entire factory. Oh man, I'm excited about this. This is going to be great. This is going to be so good. Now all I have to do is go back. Go back. Get into blueprint mode, and we should be able to put these down pretty quickly once we confirm we're in the right orientation. Uh-oh. Somehow we ran out of concrete. Jumped way too early. Way too early. We'll grab some quick wire here. And some concrete somewhere down the line here. Got 3 more of these to build for this first level. Layers in the way. All right, the first layer level is down. Just want to take a quick run over here and let's see what this looks like. So it does start with glass, then go to the end cap. I theoretically could or would have to maybe build one column of glass so I can make this side's column end cap glass, or I could make it concrete, or I could falsely extend it to one more piece of glass and then put the concrete on there. That's a problem we're going to deal with later. We're not going to deal with that right now. That is a design choice that we don't have to make right this second. What we do want to do is connect some power so we can run around in here a little easier. So there's our power. I think we're going to immediately exit the factory and enter the factory from below. So we can just go ahead and put these light control panels in. Ooh, there's really not going to be an easy way to put these in. It's a cooling device, right? So blue should definitely be involved. But maybe it's like red and blue. Because it's cooling. And it has to have heat to cool. I don't know. And then we'll connect... we'll connect all this. This is a bit of a mess. Like that. Well, the initial premise worked. That's always exciting. Now you really can't see it because it's too bright out right now. But let's go through and connect everything, at least at this first level. As usual, you know, based off of the thumbnail, how successful this build has been. Better than I do at this point. For me, right now, it's just a thought in my mind that may or may not come to fruition. Generally speaking, I think it's working. We got that weirdo bug. Maybe blue and orange would be better, actually. That is nicely contrasted. Okay. So yeah, it's going to be a, a reasonably sized building. Let's get some of the material connected before we do too much more. Primary thing that we know we need are these heat sinks. Really? Really? This is right on a corner. I might have to do a double back on this. And then here we know we're dealing with what? 4 items. Uh-oh. That's actually in the water. Nope, nope. Right above the water. Yeah, I figured it might be a little too short or too long. Let's sketch out our landing points. We want 2 outputs here. 3 inputs here. How many foundations are we away? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got to break that in half, unfortunately. 7 is the limit. I think the top one should be... Uh-oh. This is another good point. We might have to undo all of that. The first one has to be nitrogen, packed nitrogen. And the first one has to be the top item on this list. So this one can be any other one, but it can't be the top one. Is that angling down? Are we gonna take the time to make that not angle down? Is that what's about to happen? That's what's about to happen. Okay, all right. Let's take that away and let's say 1 click. Nope. 2 clicks. Yep, that's it. All right, now we got a bunch of heat sinks on here. We could just pull them all off. Let's pull them all off. That way we don't have to rebelt. It's probably better not to, probably better just to rebelt, but we're just gonna take a second here. And don't worry, I'll explain everything. I think I've already explained it. And for those of you who watched the blueprint video for this, you know what's going on. Somewhere in here we need to grab the good old Nitrogen. Who's got the nitrogen? You've got the motors. Thank you for bringing those motors. Nitrogen. Not a lot of nitrogen, surprisingly. Considering I dropped off a whole bunch of empties for them to use. Oh, wait. Plenty of nitrogen. We need to connect that to the top. So this outputs something like this, maybe? Then merges. Then connects. Now we're sending in nitrogen. This nitrogen comes in and would have to connect here. Will it even let me connect a belt that short? Oh, yeah, it will. Okay. So now the first level here becomes the top level here, which then feeds our unpackager, a packager that's unpacking by recipe. Then it's putting gas into this pipe, which is feeding this blender nitrogen gas. Then the outputs come out on the backside of that one. But maybe we should do all the imports first. I've made a mistake. I've made a huge mistake. We're dealing with 5 items, not 3, not 4. Sorry, we're dealing with 5 items, not 4. This is definitely in the water if I try to go one more down. And there's no denying that's in the water. I think the last stage of a cooling device construction is a slight rinsing in edge of the map lake water. Yeah, that's it. It's all part of roleplay. I'm RPing here, people. Let's see. So that's going to be our output, and then another one of these will be our output, and then another one these will be our input. So we'll pull this down. I don't know. Normally I would say right under this one, but it needs to be like onto something like that, probably. What was the third thing? Motors. Right. Who's got our motors? You've got our motors. Thank you. So now it's just a matter of deciding if we put the motor in here. All right. Cooling systems are being made. Nitrogen gas is actually sneaking up to this upper level and probably feeding this machine. Yes. I've made a huge mistake. Oof. I'm going to have to undo this. And I need to connect one of these to the upper level. Which means I'm going to have to undo this all the way down. I wonder if I made that same mistake on the downside as well. Basically, we don't want to contaminate our belt of cooling devices. We don't want to get our cooling devices and our empty canisters mixed. Yeah, I made the same mistake down here as well. I think the right thing to do here would be to adjust that blueprint. Because we still have 18 of these to build. And we're going to have enough to do reconnecting these without having to delete and connect these one-offs. Now I've got to check the belt to clean it. Let's put you in here. Which one of these is... The front one is the empty bottles. So we'll pull this to here. Nope. You're going the wrong direction on me. What'd I say? The front one was the empty bottles. Let's see if we can get this connected reasonably well. I think either way we're going to have a merger on our hands, right? Mm-hmm. This is going to be annoying. Not terrible, just annoying. That is what I could do. And now this one drops all the way to the water. And maybe just a little bit into the water. Not a lot, just a little. Because the cooling devices, they need to be cooled naturally. There we go. Now what is that? That's 4 empty bottles and a bunch of cooling devices. Now wherever the nitrogen comes out, the empty bottles need to go back in. So let's find the empties. Then we'll connect the empties to this input. That might not connect easily. Oh, is it time to check our lighting options? No, not yet. All right, I think the basics are done. Or proven, I should say. Just ignore that clip. Not even going to look at it. Ran out of aluminum. We'll grab some more aluminum sheets. Normally, I bring extra aluminum sheets just for the belting and stuff like that. I never really count it or calculate exactly how much of it I need. So it's always a little bit of a crapshoot as to whether or not I've brought enough. But I think we have. We'll just connect all of our outputs here. Collect our brand new, fresh off the line, empty containers and cooling devices, also known as cooling systems. And that lets our heatsink factories kick back in as well, so good news there. I don't think the blue is showing up enough. Looks great inside, but outside I don't think the blue shows up enough. But we're not going to worry too much about that right now. Let's get the cooling devices on the drone network, shall we? We'll go ahead and make it 2 steps. All right, we'll put this right here. And then we'll just line you up. Maybe without clipping through the light. And then on this side, the lowest level is nitrogen. Okay, nice to have that confirmed working. I think that is a clean method. Just come in on one side, go up, go down the line on another side. In some builds, you probably could fit all this inside the blueprint space. Though I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. But it's possible if you want it to be more compact. And then the next level will connect right here. And ooh, we do need to do something with these outputs. Oh, the blueprint is a failure yet again. We've got 2 things we need to fix. We got to fix the ramp up to the 2nd level. Wait. Ooh, that's a whole different kind of failure. Yeah, one of these is pointing in the wrong direction. Blueprints are great, I tell ya. Wait a minute. Let's make sure that we're thinking about this the right way. Everything's coming out this direction. So then everything should point the opposite direction. So this goes that way, this goes that way, this goes that way. This definitely goes that way. Yeah, these are all wrong. Wah, wah. good news is that I don't just build the blueprint, I use it. And so you can tell if it needs adjustments. Then I go back and make the adjustments. The blender is kind of a ridiculous building. It's blending to make a cooling device. It's gonna blend to make like a computer. But I'm sure they'd say it's not blending in the sense of a blender, it's blending in the sense of solids and liquids or solids and gases. So it's like a manufacturer that can handle different types of materials and blend them together. All right, let's see here. Is it right to connect this? I guess it has to be right. There's kind of no other option. Yeah, I think it's right. I'm getting my brain melted a little bit by this S methodology. Which works as long as you build the blueprints correctly. Does require correct construction. I wonder if this is a good opportunity to take a interesting screenshot. Okay, so we have multiple issues to resolve with our blueprint. Is two multiple? We've got two issues to resolve with our blueprint. We've got a directional issue and we have the directional issue here, and we have to lift. Uh-oh. Oh boy. We've got major contamination going on. Oh boy, we're gonna have to think about this. So on this level, the top is bottles. So down here, oh my god, this is a potential absolute nightmare. Let's see how bad it is. If cooling devices are going into the empty bottles, we're in trouble. Yeah, we're in trouble. And I think I just saw a drone take off. Let's see. You're headed for the nitrogen facility. Cooling device, nitro. I wish I could tell what's in it. I'm just curious if this drone has cooling devices on board. We should probably assume that it does and do the work to clean it out. What we're going to have to do in the meantime is some shenanigans. Which one of these is officially which? Let's see. The top one is the empty bottle. Okay, so this is empty bottle. So down on this upper level, we are gonna have to... Oh, but we can't swap it because there's no room to swap it. Oh, this is bad. This is very bad. We're contaminating the belt with this design, and we didn't leave ourselves enough room to go from the blender up to the second level of the swapper, or of the output belt. So we're gonna have to figure out a way to do this that's reasonably nice looking. Basically, the answer is we need this. We need this bottom stuff to go in. This right here. Well, I could just snake it around, I think. This needs to go here. Let's just confirm that. Right. Empties are on the second level. Everybody's happy. And then here, I mean, the simplest thing to do would be to just turn this and then turn this and get it kind of in there. This is a case of double complicating something, right? The S definitely solves a problem. It works best when you only have one type of output, though. Or you have the room and flexibility. We probably could have moved this over one, but I don't know if we could move it over enough to make the blender lift in here. Anyway, I think we've got a solution. I think what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to take a quick pause, and then we're going to go make some changes. One, we're going to adjust the blueprint. Two, we're going to have to check double check our nitrogen facility and make sure we haven't contaminated it with a bunch of cooling devices. And we want to drop off the cooling devices that we have on us because we're probably not going to use them anytime soon. All right. I will, we'll cut back once we've arrived. I'll probably go to the nitrogen facility first just to make sure it's not totally borked. And then we'll double back, check out the blueprint. Once we've got that confirmed, then we'll finish the build. Be right back. Okay, I changed my mind. We're back at the blueprint. We're going to get this resolved first. This first floor, we're sending the empties up a level. First floor, they stay on the lower level, and then we'll have to do some shenanigans after the fact to get these swapped. Okay. We'll just save over that. Oh, wait, but we also had that directional issue. What was it? There it is. Just pointing off into the glass. There we go. Okay, we got that fixed. We're going to go double check the nitrogen facility, and then we'll be right back. Be right back. Okay, we've arrived. Let's check status of this. Uh-oh. There are 2 cooling devices in here. One could hope that these aren't impacted. think the best way to check this would be to foist in some empties and make sure all the machines are still running. Of course, we have empties. Why aren't the empties making it over? Now we have a whole different problem. We've got... Uh-oh. Have we answered our own question? Yes. Cooling devices. Oh boy. There's probably a lot of cooling devices. Excuse me. Probably a lot of cooling devices that made their way into the system here. Let's look under. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Absolutely terrible. That's what you call a contaminated belt. Okay, let's get this cleaned up. You make one little mistake and then the whole thing just blows up on you. I'm wondering, did I leave myself any packaged fuel? Oh, I did. Just a little bit. Just enough to get home. I'll take half. Leave enough for the next time. I find myself on this side of the world. The only other thing we have left now is we gotta get the factory itself. Gotta get these cooling devices out of here. Boy, there's a lot of cooling devices in there. There we go. Oh man, they are all throughout. Let's see. We're gonna have to think for a minute. I think I need to... We might have to do something a little aggressive, like purge the line. Unfortunately, you don't... Like, with pipes... Well, you can't really get into this kind of trouble with pipes, but they do have that purge option, where you can just dump everything in there. There's a small amount of radiation in this area. Oh, is this on the wrong side? Let's move it. My first thought is that we'll have to build a storage container here and then just drain the line until we get rid of the cooling devices that are on the line, and then we'll have to go through each individual machine and clean those out. That was a lot of cooling devices. Okay, it looks like we're getting back to the desired state. Nope. Oh, were those ever connected? They don't look like they were. Why is that not working? Oh, there's just one little cooling device left. There's one over here too. Okay, so that was a diversion and a half. Apologies for that, but I think it's important to have debugging skills. Uh-oh, we got one more there. You always have to worry about the buffers inside of these splitters and mergers. That's what's causing this last little bit. Now I think they're all going though. Okay. Back to it. We've got our blueprint fixed, and we have our nitrogen gas supply set up. Now we just got to go towards the icons. We're way down here now. Our main base is up here. The nukes are over here. And the stuff that we're looking at is way over here. So it'll be a second before I get back over there. So I'm going to pause and then I'll be right back. All right. We have made it back. And I'm stopping over at this location so we can just drop off some empties. All right, I think we're ready to go here. We'll see in a moment. All right, you're dropping off 900 nitrogen canisters, which is a lot of nitrogen because it expands greatly when you unpackage it. So that's plenty of nitrogen. I think that means it's time. Down at the end here, we'll just dump all the stuff we know we don't want. Like, we know we don't want parts of animals and leaves and all kinds of random stuff. We'll get rid of that stuff. And we actually don't want these cooling devices. We want some fuel, but not that much fuel. Don't think we're using screws as part of our build at all. Let's see where we are now. If I want to 60... Sorry about that. We want to hit the plus sign. Let's grab some more of these, shall we? We probably don't need quite that much aluminum on us. Need to make a little room for things that don't stack quite as well, like motors and heavy frames. Casings are okay. They're not great, but they're okay. Okay. Let's get our hover back on. And then, so now we want this side to be the output that connects to this. And we're going to have to think about the ups and downs of that. I think that's right. Oh, I see. We have a couple of problems. The output of this should actually go up here. So if we're going to perfect this S pattern build, we probably need to think deeply about where we want the output to be, because technically, unless I just decide to go like all the way down with all 24 of these builds, which I've already started going up, so it's not really an option. This is going to end up at the highest level when we're done. Right? Because all of this is technically wrong. No, it's not. You know, this S pattern thing is melting my brain. My apologies. This is correct still. So we're going to go here. And then this guy is going to connect up. And technically we don't even need this, so let's not use it. We don't need that either. Oh, we do want that because of the lighting. We don't want to clip the light. Okay, so we're going to build a platform for us to use so we can get around this light. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to drop this down. I am thinking in my mind, though, which is pretty much where all thinking happens. Why is it that this side works? Oh, that's because we can adjust the the target. On this one, the tops and bottoms are actually doing different tasks, so that's why it works. We end up with a lot of extras. We'll connect this one last level, and then I'll build the rest of it off camera, and then we'll rejoin once all of the good stuff is done. I just need to prove to myself that we're on the right track with this S design. Kind of close quarters in here. Yeah, so that's the thing, isn't it? Oh no, I think it's okay. I think I need to see it. Let's connect this. Let's power this up. I'm starting to think that this blueprint design is half right, and we are one blueprint away from it being perfect. But we're going to connect the third and fourth level here to get a sense of how bad it all is. Okay, so things are coming out here. On this level, they're going down the line, down one level, and coming out here. So theoretically, this level should just connect down here. And this looks correct. Empty bottles on the top, empty bottles on the top. It's really our only option, is the point of that whole conversation. I'm starting to see the issues. The only issue with this is the fact that I put this unpackager, or the packager and the blender, right next to each other. This is what's causing the problem. If I had this to do again, I would move this over, and then I kind of cross my fingers that we could actually connect everything. So then we could make this blender connect to the top half the time and to the bottom the other half of the time. That's the key. And the fact that it's not doing that, we don't have that space allotted to us, means that we have to do shenanigans at the end of the line. But on this side, it's easy enough to say it goes straight up like this, right? Like, we don't need a bunch of extra belts. We can just connect and connect and connect. And this goes in, and in. This connects and connects and connects. Oh yeah, but we do want to avoid that light. It's kind of the third time I've made the same mistake, so it's a little annoying, but we want to avoid that light that we're gonna build out here. In the vertical service layer. That, and like that, and like that. Then we'll connect all three of these. And then this will connect down like this. Back one first. So right here we have the same problem. We want to connect the empty bottles to the top, but we can't because, you know, physics. Would disallow it. So the simplest way to go would be to just drop it in like this. The front one cooling devices on bottom. Let's just observe that working correctly. And then empty bottles on top. I suppose that's low-grade shenanigans. It's still shenanigans, but it's not horrendous. We should see, like, a huge chunk of bottles coming in here soon. There we go. Those empties go back into our nitrogen. So the drone comes in, drops off a bunch of nitrogen canisters, then picks up the empties, which get refilled with more nitrogen. This isn't horrendous. But to perfect this blueprint would take some adjustments. We will fix it. In the next video. If it can be fixed. It's possible there's just not enough room. Blenders are a mess for blueprints. Are we short on nitrogen? We are connected. Okay, yeah, it's flowing. Just taking a second. Each nitrogen canister contains 44 5? No. It takes 11 of these to make 45 of these. So these machines should fill up pretty quickly. It's going to take a while for these last ones to get the good stuff. All right, I think we're close. Let's build this last level, and then I'll do the last 2 levels off camera. Just trying to make this video reasonably long. It's already 2 hours, though. So we'll see. Those of you that like the long videos will celebrate because it's super detailed. I'm getting into the nitty-gritty of what can go wrong, what can go right. And then there's going to be some of you that just want to know, what's the deal? How do we make it work? I could have sworn I fixed this, but maybe I didn't save it. My goodness. I'm thinking I probably got some help from the game where it auto-rotated this for me. I didn't realize it, and actually didn't make any change at all. Problem with it is sometimes it's helpful, and sometimes you don't notice that it's actually doing the exact opposite of what you want. So you have to be super careful when you're stacking mergers or splitters. on the way down, I think we can... It's effectively going to be contaminated belts, right? But I think it's okay because the last level solves it for us. Let's sigh. Can I, we're gonna jump up here, put on our jetpack, and then just sort of float. And then we're gonna use this to our advantage. Nice to hear the heat sinks being made. Let's switch back to hover, shall we? Okay. We are going to... That one's already connected, so this just needs to get connected to this one. And we're going to depend on that last level to do the sorting for us. We'll see how that goes here in a moment. Oh, that's already a mess. Wow. All right. Out here. We're going to have to buy ourselves some time. The bottom layer at this point right here, this bottom layer is cooling devices. Oh boy, now we need rotors. Rotors, rotors, rotors. Worried there for a second we didn't bring any rotors. We're going to have to make full use Now I'm out of steel beams, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. We're going to have to make full use of our extra space here for sorting to fix this problem. And we're going to do it with smart splitters. All right, so you are going to be left cooling. Center output. Are they called canisters? No. Ew, what are they called? Empty fluid tank. Straight ahead is empty fluid tanks. Then here, the merger, we want, yeah, you probably want it somewhere in this area, right? Oh man, I'm gonna have to rethink the choices I just made. Because this blocks everything off. So we have to say the cooling, I mean, what I want to say is the cooling goes down to the bottom. Holy moly. That's what I want to say. But maybe it makes more sense to give us a little bit more room to move. We're gonna go out here. What the heck? Cooling devices on bottom. And now we want to get empty canisters on the left. And cooling devices, cooling systems on the center. And that means empties on top. Too close. Still too close. What if we turn this? Really? We'll just move it out here. So this is our... Oh wait, that's the wrong canister. Empty... fluid tank. Fluid tanks on top. And then a question arises. How do we get these alternates out? So this one is empty fluid tank on the center. And we want empty fluid tanks on top. That one's easy. Though I somehow missed horrendously. Alright, hold on. Let's fix all this. We're learning a lot today. Got that, we got that, we got that. Pull this down to the top. Really? You know what? Tell me exactly where this is supposed to connect so I can connect it. Oh. I see. This is destined for imperfection. Cooling devices on bottom. That is correct. And done. Oh boy, it's gonna be tough getting these canisters in here. Cooling devices on bottom. So this one is cooling devices, which needs to connect on top. Let's just get that done, so at least that's done. And then these empty canisters, or empty fluid tanks, sorry, come down and around and need to connect here. I think if we take this out first, we can reconnect this. Empties on top. And then the only thing we have left is to get this fluid to the bottom. Okay. I think we're getting close here. Once we turn our hover back on. The reason why I did all that is because observed on this belt that we're totally, completely in a bad space. What is going on here? Okay. Let's see if this sorter sorts everything correctly. Something like this will allow us to see it all. When it makes its way back around here. There we go. Mixed belt down below. Not mixed belt. All right, we're going to allow that to be our corrective. Luckily, the output for the cooling systems is only 3.75, and for this, it's only 11.25, so it'll be a contaminated belt for a little while, but it gets fixed here at the end, right before we ship it out. So now we can just build up to our heart's content, which in this case is 2 more of these. I'm going to take my last pause. Or am I going to go for a long walk and clear my head? And then I'll come back once we're done with this build. Be right back. Okay. An hour later, we got it done. I think the only lesson learned, well, we've got 2. 1, we obviously have some work to do on our blueprint. And 2, we need to add a little bit of overflow protection here. Because we do effectively now have a sushi belt because of the blueprint issue that we talked about, we need to make sure that we always burn a little bit of the extra cooling systems. We'll start there. That should be enough, though. So right here, we'll do that. We'll put a splitter on there. But we don't want it to be a splitter. We want it to be a smart splitter. Missing rotors. I always find a way to put my rotors away. Once we're done with this construction, we'll come back and clean up all of these storage containers. Okay, so we want this to be a smart splitter. And we want this splitter on the right to kick overflow. Then we want that overflow to flow into the storage container, which we put here so we can manually destroy things. And then we put this as an awesome sink, which really can go anywhere. But we should probably place it in a way where we can see it. Nah, we'll just put it over here in the corner. And then we need to pull power. We'll pull the power from here. Okay. We have a very small amount of walls to build, but this is now a factory that's generating... Ooh, boy. How much is it generating? or 3.5. I'm having a hard time finding. There we go. 3.75 times 24 builds times 2 per 180. Is that what I did? I built it 24 times. Each one has 2. Okay. 180 cooling systems per minute. A lot going on there, but it's fully integrated into the factory system. Nitrogen's going in, empties are coming out. It's possible that the ratio to empties and full is going to be a little bit of a problem. But we'll see. We'll see. I think it's a matter of just making sure that there's enough empties sloshing around in the system so that they can get filled up and delivered back. Like right now, we need to get... Ooh, the nitro's just going to pick up. We're doing 170 per minute. Actually, I think that might be enough. Because nitro, pack nitro is weird. We're consuming 11.25 per minute. 11.25 times 24 times 2. Oof, no, we actually need 500 and some odd. So yeah, we're going to have to take a look at this nitro and increase our throughput. Or we'll just have to unleash a couple of these unpackers. But you know what? This video is long enough. Congratulations to you if you've made it this far. I'm going to call it. I'm also planning in my mind the next video, which is the resolution observations associated with having a blueprint using the S pattern and having a blueprint that has 2 different machines inside of it. We'll have it all figured out and explained. But clearly, that's for the next video. Thanks for hanging out. I do appreciate it. And we'll see you next time.